Hi guys, welcome to Bitcoin Bankers. Today we're going to be looking at that Bitcoin price. We're at a bit of a junction now where things could either get really bullish or even continue to go more bearish. Okay, there's a lot of FUD out there, there's a lot of negativity, a lot of fear in the market, and that can be an indicator on what to do next. So we'll get to the charts very shortly. Please like, please subscribe, click that bell button, get notifications of when I am doing these videos, because I don't always do them every day and I don't always do them once a week. So the last one I did was a week ago, and I've let it run this week to see where Bitcoin's going. There's been a few opportunities for some small trades in there that could have helped you out. But all in all, as I said in the last video, we're going to consolidate around the 34 to 36,000. That's what we've done, but let's go take a look now, hey? Okay. So here we are on the Bitcoin weekly. Okay, we have these two big bearish engulfing candles, and we have a gravestone doji. Okay, now if you are learning trading as you're watching this, you know that these are all quite bearish signs. That means bears are the ones that short markets, bears are the ones that believe in downtrends, and downtrends are continuing and so forth. Okay, now here's the big question. Are we in a bear market? Well, I think we're in a bear trend. That's absolutely certain. A bear market is when the market price of an asset or the market itself drops more than 20% over a period of time, usually about 2 months. Once it's done those two sort of criteria, you can consider it a bear market. We've dropped 51%, but it hasn't really been for 2 months yet. So it's a big pullback, it's a correction, it's bearish. I'm willing to call it a short-term bear market. Okay, we have the stochastic on the weekly, which is showing that it's still sort of dropping off. It's in a really oversold area, but a lot of people are very hesitant on when to jump in. You know, once bitten, twice shy. So there's a lot of new buyers, there's a lot of longer-term buyers and traders who are not quite ready to jump in yet. We do see there's for the first time, I think in days, we're actually seeing some green show up on all the alt markets here. These are my alt market sort of picks, and we're seeing that sort of play around a little bit of confidence coming back, but not a lot, because once if it starts crashing down again, everyone gets scared off. So this is the weekly. We have broken out of this channel. I'm expecting some more consolidation in this range. The second important point, will we hit 20,000? Based on the weekly and other time frames, lower time frames, I'd say no. Based on the monthly, I'd say it's possible, because all in all, this is really just getting started. But it's the monthly chart, and I want to show you something back here. Here is the bull run into 2017, right? 2016, 2017. Okay, now essentially a large amount of buying had already been done before it started going parabolic. Okay, so this is on the monthly chart. So there was a bit of a pullback here, and it hit a 13, and then the trend started again, went right up here, and then it just kept going and going and going. Now this actually went for about from 1st of June, I'm talking about the top of the indicator, 1st of June 16, the 1st of December 17. So that's a year and a half that this monthly indicator was in overbought territory, like heavily overbought territory. And when it gets on a parabolic rise, that can happen. We've made it up again here around the 1st of January. We sort of hit our top, but it's not really sustaining that just yet. Okay, now this can certainly sort of come back down and pull around, but you notice the difference is that the K line here, this longer, slower trend, the smoother trend, is below the more sort of instantly changing or dramatic trend change line. Okay, so this is indicating more just the real price action, and this is indicating more of an average smoothing of that price. Over here, we've had a dramatic sort of breakdown through and under that smoothing line, and it's quite sharp. Okay, and reason being, this big candle, this big sell-off, sort of all in one hit very quickly. It didn't happen the same way back here. It was a gradual, it's still very hard, but it was gradual, okay, over a period of time. This is a lot more instant. So these sell-offs here just weren't anywhere near the quantity to sort of push it down. It did sort of come under a little bit and then came back up and bounced off, you know. This time, a little bit different, you know. I think a lot of the larger money companies, hedge funds, things like that, they know they missed out on Bitcoin, so they're going to break the price, push it back down, manipulate the market in their favor until they get it down to a sustainable point that they want. Now, that could be 19,000, it could be 29,000, or it could be 8,000. We just don't know. But at this point in time, on the monthly, yes, there is certainly more space for it to come down, even just to sort of this area here, the 24,000 is probably where it's more likely to get support. Again, I don't think so. I can't, apart from the monthly, I can't quite see it happening. And this is where it can be difficult and be a struggle for a lot of traders. So, you know, I'm in cash, I'm sitting in cash, so I'm happy to just wait. I do have some cryptos that I bought into 2 weeks ago. They've taken a bit of a dip, and yeah, if they start coming back up again while Bitcoin's still down, I'll probably just, once it gets back over my price, if they do, which they're not that far off where I got in anyway, I might just jump out of each one individually just for a little while. I have no problem going to cash because that's how you preserve your profit. Okay, especially, you know, when things are bearish. You know, you don't want to just sit in there and let it go down $50,000. You just lost everything you made. It's stupid, you know. Okay, so why don't we go down to the daily? Let's have a look at the daily. This is a real big Bitcoin analysis today, guys. That's what I'm working on, because I think that's what everyone wants to know. All right, so on the daily, I did say when we were here that it's going to bounce around this area. There's a lot of support in the mid-range of this channel, which is interesting. As I didn't expect it to actually give that much support, but we can see that it's actually really stayed in this middle range, sort of from 38 to 34. A couple of good opportunities, some nice little trades within that. So if you did that, congratulations. Yeah, it's a high risk area, guys. You've got to be real careful trading and things like this. Let it smooth out. You know, you've got to let things just ease off a bit. It's okay if you don't get every turn or every trade, or if you miss a good entry by, you know, a few thousand here or there. That's okay. It doesn't matter. Don't freak out about it. You know, doesn't matter really. If you buy it here, great. That's really good. If you buy it up here, if it shoots up, and you're buying the breakout above 42, that's still good, man, because it's only going to sort of shoot up if it was bullish. Okay, so at the moment on the daily, our stochastic is sort of hitting this crucial point of whether it's going to have a big sell-off and break this and go down. That is a risk. If that happens, I can definitely see this sort of challenging our support around the 32 and maybe even down to the 30. It just depends on the lower time frames. The weekly, as we saw before, was really oversold. This is heading back down into selling territory, but what often happens, and this could happen, is that we get a nice little bounce off here and shoot up. You know, and this could last a few days, you know, so you could have some really nice bullish action. Delete that. So it is also making this W formation that we see here, you know. It's down, up, down, and we could get that shoot off. So you've got this nice W pattern. They do generally tend to work, but when there's this much resistance, it's very hard for it to follow the pattern. You know, if this was happening over here on our way up, and say absolutely jump in now, get it, and we're going to have a good ride up. At the moment, we got resistance in this area here in the middle of the channel where it's sort of consolidated. We got resistance at 40. We got a lot of heavy weight coming down with the moving averages cutting through the ribbon at 41, right up to 47. So there's a real lot of resistance that it has to cut through like a chainsaw, and that's going to take a lot of momentum to push that up. Basically, we're going to need a FOMO event, something that's really going to say now is the time to really get this because it's going, you know. And once everyone catches wind of that kind of event, you know, that will give us plenty of power to cut through, and we'll be back up in this channel and starting to work our way back up towards 100,000. We just need to see what's going to happen here. Waiting till the end of the month, which is going to happen in a day and a half, my time. Okay, got the daily here, 18 hours, so it's a little bit longer than that before we see the end of the month and the end of the week. Now, the end of the day. So these particular periods of time can be very, very volatile. So my advice, if not that I give advice, but what I am going to do most likely is watch this market very carefully. I have a personal feeling that it's going to go up. I think we're going to get a nice bounce, maybe up to around the 40, 42 best on the daily. Then it's sort of, you know, probably pull back again, and I think we're just going to stay in this range a little bit longer until that weekly starts to get momentum and move up. So that could take a little while. That's what I'm expecting, you know what I mean? So we're going to have a look at the shorter time frames very shortly. But as for now, I'm expecting it. You know, we've got a nice sort of hammer here, so we might get this nice little. We've got a 1-to-4 correction as well starting to play out. So, but it's just very choppy. It's very difficult at the moment. Let's go to the 4-hour, and you can see here really, really bullish, right? Really, really bullish. We got our resistance here, as I was saying before. We've got resistance here and here. So I'm not expecting this to really be a strong one, but if we can get to this, break through these areas and then get to here to 39, that'd be a really good trade. That'd be nice, it'd be supportive. If we can break over this and then sort of sit here, then we're really doing well. But I still think it's going to hang in this range here, okay? So it looks like there is some momentum starting to come back in. On the 1 hour, 1 hour is starting to grow up a bit. Okay, still pretty bullish. But as you can see, the bull run, this little bull run here, it's not as aggressive as I'd like it to be. You know, it's really not that aggressive at the moment. By the time this sort of starts winding out, I think most of these indicators will be wound out and sort of exhausted. And that's what I trade using this quite a lot, and that's how I kind of trade with the price, the moving averages, the stochastic. How's it staying in the channel? Where is its resistance? Where is its support? These are about the 5 things that you've got to consider and say, how will the momentum that is coming in drive us up? Now that's the unpredictable part. Okay, that's the really unpredictable part, because we could just get a big boom and it'll just go and it'll go, oh, I missed it, you know, or it could just gradually sort of go like this and really not achieve a lot, sort of bump its head on the ceiling here and say, okay, that's it, I've had it, I'm coming back down again. You know, that's why we need to get that daily on our side, and I'll go back to the daily again, so let's remember what the daily was. Okay, looking a bit bearish, yeah. But if we can get a nice bounce off this one here, like we did here, on the next candle, say, that's 18 hours, yeah, we might get a good run. So let's go back to the hourly. Let's have a bit of a look at what we got. You know, this area here is kind of similar to this sort of region here. We got a bit of sort of touching this this price, the 33,000. This is US dollars, not Australian dollars. And we also have a higher low. Will that higher low hold? Are people seeing this higher low as an indication that, hey, this is starting to run out of steam, this sell-off? But I think a lot of people, especially those who are leveraging and stuff, they're probably very scared about getting in right now. So the key is, don't use the leverage websites. Okay? Don't use leverage. You will kill yourself. You'll go broke. That is for people more or less who are trading financial currencies, you know. And because they're using large amounts and it only moves for very small amounts, they got 100x the position. So, you know, a 1.5 cent move can actually give them a good profit. You don't need leverage on something that's moving $1,000 a day. You just don't. You can, but it's highly dangerous. It will wreck you, and it's your own fault. So you've been warned. Just quickly on the 30-minute, let's see where we're going here. We're kind of overbought here, sort of hitting a bit of a ceiling. This can still sort of move up and move around. A little bit more room, but not a lot. So it is sort of staying in tune with the ribbon here, not getting a lot of momentum sort of going. It's just little bursts. But this is what starts to break that downtrend sometimes. When you get these little attempts of bulls starting to come back and going bang, 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 they're just little indicators just to let the bears know, hey, we're building momentum here. So watch out. But it is a 30 minutes, so it might take longer. Let's quickly have a look at Ethereum. The rest of the markets are pretty much copying the same thing as Bitcoin because that's what they do. They're fake coins, they're altcoins, they don't do anything. But hey, it might be a nice trade on Ethereum here on the 4-hour. But again, pretty risky in this situation, right? Because this could start bowing over and just drive it back down. Once this comes into contact with the moving average, it's pretty strong here, but you can get this sort of situation, big dumps. And the fact that everyone's expecting a big dump, be careful, you know. Consider whether you want to buy in. Having a quick look, Dogecoin, how's Dogecoin doing? Not that anyone really cares about that now, it's died off and disappeared. Still getting a little bit more bullish, there's a bit more run. Same with the daily, there's quite a bit of bullishness on that daily there, a little bit starting to occur. Broken out, a bit of sitting and getting some nice support along the top of the ribbon here. Okay, so on the daily and the weekly, I think June we might get a little bit more of a bullish response. After all this selling, it's been going on for a long time. People are frustrated. They're very eager to get back in. They don't want to miss out. This can take off in Bitcoin quite quickly. If we look at Cardano, actually, here's my previous sort of potential, what I thought it was going to do while it was dropping down. And we did get in. I got it right till here, and then we had this big bounce up. And I was looking good there. I thought, oh, okay, it's come out of nowhere. Then it lost momentum and dropped back down. But the good news for Cardano is that we're still in this ascending triangle. Nothing has changed. Still very bullish. Okay, I would not worry. If you're in Cardano, I really wouldn't be too worried at all. The thing is, the weekly, I think. Weekly is a little, sort of bearish. But that can change very quickly, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. There is a possibility it can drop out of this channel, but I don't know. I think there's a bit more momentum. If Bitcoin can start to run and everything else starts to run, Cardano runs well with Bitcoin. So does Binance, I think. So there's a couple of them that do run really well with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So that is what we're looking at, guys. Just don't listen to the FUD. Don't listen to the FOMO. Make your own decisions. Make sure you focus. Pay attention to what you're doing. Don't be too eager to run in thinking you're going to miss a good entry position. I do that a bit sometimes, like, I really could have got more profit there, but that's because I'm obsessive, you know. I tend to get in early, I tend to get out early, and just kind of beat the FOMO and the waves and stuff. But sometimes, most of the time it works out well for me. Sometimes probably a little detrimental for myself, but as long as I'm making profit and decent profit, I don't care. It works for me, that's my pattern, and that's my style. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it at that. That's Bitcoin and a quick look at the other markets for now. Bitcoin bankers, please like, subscribe. Like, subscribe. I will see you again very soon, and maybe after tomorrow, once we get past this Sunday point, I'll come and do another video and see where Bitcoin's going. Bit tough to tell at the moment. One quick last look at Bitcoin. Still holding up this really strong level of support here around 34. I think this has surprised a lot of people that it's held up so strongly. but we still have to see what the next 12 hours are going to do. Okay, so I don't want to rush in, get a good position. It starts to shoot off and then dumps hard. It's happened before. I don't want it happening again. Anyway, that's us for the day. See you next time.